Hello, Albert here at Loretta Lynn's 2022. Today we're going to talk about how to succeed at Loretta's. In this video I'm going to hit 3 main points. If you guys stick to what I say here in these 3 main points, it'll give you your best shot of being competitive while being able to just calm the nerves as much as humanly possible. I filmed this video in depth inside of the Moto Academy. If you guys want more in-depth tutorials and lesson plans that are structured in this way, make sure you head over to themotoacademy.com, subscribe to the club, download the app, and we're putting out 3 times a week videos like this one. Number 1, I want to talk about game plan. I would say the majority of people don't have a game plan when they go into a race setting. The majority of people don't have a game plan when they go out there for practice or anytime they're hitting the track. So step 1 is formulating a game plan. I'm going to tell you guys exactly how to do that. First things first is track walk. Walk the track, and just like I always say, create a tentative game plan. As far as, the track hasn't developed lines yet, but you can at least learn where the corners are, learn where the jumps are, the distance, and assess, okay, I plan to do this jump, and this jump, and maybe, this giant tabletop or triple. Maybe I don't plan to do that. Make sure you guys create a plan A, going through the 10 commandments, maybe a plan B if the track doesn't develop the way that you want it to, and maybe even a plan C. The goal is to basically execute and develop this tentative game plan into a definitive game plan by the time you've hit the track after your first lap or 2 in practice on Monday. The next step is super important. Pre-race scouting. At Loretta's, you guys have sort of like a cheat code in the sense that there are motos going all day long. You know exactly what time your moto is. So what I recommend you doing is, before you get geared up, hop on a bicycle, or better yet, hop on a pit bike of some sort, get a hat on so you're in the shade, and do an entire lap around the exterior of the track, watching the motos before you and creating a definitive game plan to the best of your ability, which lines you're going to hit in which corners. You'll be seeing the track at that point at the most an hour prior to when you go out there, so it should be pretty similar when you guys actually do hit the track. Choose the lines you're going to hit and visualize that. You should be doing laps in your head, pre-race, when you're going down to the line, when you're sitting on the line. And the key is to stick to that game plan. When the gate drops, if you just throw caution to the wind and say, screw it, we're just going wherever the heck we want now, the entire game plan falls apart. Next step is sight lap. Use the sight lap to your advantage. There's 2 strategies in a sight lap. Either you can go Ken Roczen style, which is actually attack the sight lap as if you're doing a moto, which isn't a bad strategy if you're confident enough and you have a solidified game plan to where you can do that, because that sort of like almost gets your first lap out of the way, where I know a lot of you guys maybe takes you a minute to get warmed up and kind of get comfortable, maybe make a lot of mistakes on the first lap. You can get those mistakes out of the way on the sight lap if you want. The other way to do it, and the way that I do it, is to go extra slow and really make sure that you're eyeing up all of those lines and finalizing the game plan that you are going to execute in the moto. All right, next thing, and this is a big one, is nerves. How do you conquer nerves? The first thing is, do not look at Loretta's as the race. Look at it as a race. It is going to do you no good by thinking of it as the race and I have to perform here, or it's the end of the world. That mindset is not going to do anything except create negative thoughts and create anxiety about the future. Just treat it as if it's another day at the track, because that's what it is. Enjoy it, stay in the moment. It is not the race, and you guys have to remember that. When you look around, try not to read the names on the jerseys. I used to always put my back to the staging area so that I wouldn't read, oh, there goes Roczen. Oh, there goes Webb. Oh, there goes Tomac. Oh, there goes... I mean, you could go on and on and on and on. Back when I raced amateur nationals, every single guy in the top 20 in 450s right now was in my class in 250B. Stock and mod the last year I raced it. If I had sat there at staging and just read the names on the jerseys as they walked by, I would have defeated myself before I hit the track. So I intentionally would just turn my back to staging, just focus on the gate that I was going to pick, and just completely focus on myself and forget that there was all of those other fast guys around me. And last but not least, hydration and nutrition. It's a hot week. Make sure that you are not just drinking water. Find a good sports hydration drink, whether it's, Scratch, Rhino Power makes one. Element. There's a million different hydration. I mean, even worst case scenario, better than nothing would be Gatorade and Powerade. It does have artificial flavors. It has a ton of sugar that maybe you don't necessarily need, but it's better than drinking just straight water because you won't have the electrolytes to be able to retain the water so that you're actually properly hydrated throughout the week. So make sure that you have a good sports hydration drink that you're mixing nice and light into your water, and you can be mixing it in your water all week long. If you have more questions on specific nutrition and hydration, make sure you guys send a message to Coach Evan inside of the app. He's our strength and conditioning coach in the Moto Academy, and he's extremely knowledgeable when it comes to this stuff, way more so than me. I have good experience with it on race day, but if you have specific questions, ask Coach Evan. We are all here to guide you. And take this advice that you learned from this video and apply it to any race, right? Because Loretta's isn't the race, it's just a race. All right guys, there are your keys to success at Loretta Lynn's Amateur National. If you guys want to have your best chance at qualifying for this race and performing well, subscribe to themotoacademy.com. You can train with myself and Jet Lawrence inside of the app. It's available now inside the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. I feel something swimming underneath me. Time to go. Toodaloo.